John Isner criticizes extended Canadian Open format. John Isner delivers a scathing critique of the Canadian Open tennis tournament amidst growing discontent from fans. This year's Canadian Open has faced significant criticism, and the backlash has been palpable. Even before the tournament kicked off, it was marred by notable player withdrawals, including top stars like Aryna Sabalenka, Novak Djokovic, Jannik Sinner, and Carlos Alcaraz, all of whom opted out of participating. The dissatisfaction hasn't been limited to absent players. Those who have shown up, such as Frances Tiafoe, have expressed their displeasure as well. Tiafoe went so far as to label a recent change made by the Canadian Open as garbage. In response to the mounting criticism, the tournament director has addressed these concerns, but former player John Isner has added fuel to the fire with a blunt three-word assessment: "It's so bad." Isner, who reached the semi-finals of the Canadian Open twice before retiring in 2023, has not shied away from voicing his opinions about this year's event. For the first time, the Canadian Open is being held over a span of 12 days, a decision that aligns with the ATP and WTA Tour's ongoing expansion of 1,000-level tournaments. Alexander Zverev has claimed that this extended format is unpopular among players, and Isner appears to echo that sentiment. When asked on X, formerly Twitter, about the revamped North American hardcourt schedule, Isner's response was succinct and clear: "It's so bad." The criticism from Isner resonates with many tennis fans who have taken to social media to share their thoughts. While some fans echoed Isner's sentiments, others elaborated on their frustrations with the new format. One user remarked, "This is too drawn out. 2 days for the quarterfinals and both cities scheduling their matches simultaneously. It will be interesting to see how this plays out in Cincinnati." Another fan suggested that the changes were driven by financial motives, stating, "It's miserable, and I doubt anyone involved is enjoying it, except for a handful of corporate executives profiting from it." Others expressed a preference for the traditional one-week format, with one user wishing that Indian Wells and Miami would also revert to a shorter schedule. They noted that the overlapping schedules and weekday finishes create confusion for fans trying to attend consecutive tournaments. Some fans have already mentally checked out of the Canadian Open, eagerly anticipating the upcoming US Open. One user simply stated, "I have already checked out, just bring on the US Open." Another lamented, "It's awful. It feels drawn out, lacks excitement, and involves too much waiting. A one-week format with 64 players would be much better." Concerns about the tournament's structure have left some fans feeling lost, with one commenting, "I have no idea what round we're at or what's happening. It's impossible to follow." Fans who are dissatisfied with the Canadian Open are likely to feel similarly about the upcoming Cincinnati Open, which will also span 12 days. Notably, Djokovic has already withdrawn from the Cincinnati Open, which is set to begin on the same day as the Canadian Open Finals, Thursday, August 7. Alcaraz withdraws from Toronto event to focus on Wimbledon recovery. Imagine the shockwaves rippling through the tennis world when world number 2 Carlos Alcaraz announced his withdrawal from the upcoming ATP Canadian Open in Toronto. But here's where it gets interesting. He's pulling out to focus on his recovery from Wimbledon. This decision comes just days after Alcaraz's thrilling yet heartbreaking loss to top-ranked Jannik Sinner in the Wimbledon final, a match where he was aiming for his third consecutive Wimbledon title. In a heartfelt statement, the 22-year-old Spaniard expressed his disappointment. "I'm really sad to have to miss the National Bank Open in Toronto. I tried my best to be ready for the tournament, as it's one I really enjoy playing. However, given the timing and my need to fully recover from Wimbledon, I don't think I'll be at my best. I hope everything goes well for the event, and I'm already looking forward to returning to the Canadian courts next year." For those who follow Alcaraz's career closely, you might remember his impressive run in Canada last year, where he made it all the way to the quarterfinals before falling to American Tommy Paul. It was a testament to his growing skill and popularity among Canadian fans. Tournament director Carl Hale echoed the sentiment of many when he said, "It's disappointing to lose a player of Carlos' caliber, knowing how much our fans were eagerly anticipating his appearance." While he may be relatively new to the scene, Alcaraz's career is still in its early stages, and there will be many more opportunities for Canadians to catch him in action in the future. Interestingly, Alcaraz isn't the only high-profile player opting out due to injuries. American Sebastian Korda, currently ranked 33rd, is struggling with a leg injury, while Poland's Hubert Hurkacz, ranked 38th, is dealing with knee issues. Both players have withdrawn from the tournament, adding another layer of intrigue to what was shaping up to be a star-studded event. So what does this mean for the tournament? Will the absence of these top players significantly impact the excitement and quality of play? And this is the part most people miss. How do these withdrawals affect player rankings and prize money distribution? These are questions that not only tennis enthusiasts, but also casual fans will be pondering as they watch the tournament unfold. What do you think? Should Alcaraz have pushed himself to participate despite his recent Wimbledon exertions? Or was prioritizing recovery the smarter move? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Stars ready to seize opportunity in Toronto. The stage is set, and the excitement is palpable. The world's top tennis stars are poised to capitalize on a unique opening in Toronto. As the North American hardcourt season ramps up with full force, many of the ATP Tour's elite competitors have gathered in Toronto for the celebrated National Bank Open, now extended to an unprecedented 12-day event. This lengthening of the tournament promises even more thrilling matches and opportunities for players to shine. However, here's where it gets controversial. The withdrawals of world number 1 Jannik Sinner and world number 2 Carlos Alcaraz have shifted the dynamics dramatically. While some fans may lament the absence of these tennis titans, the remaining participants see this as a golden chance to make their mark at this early summer Masters 1000 event. This shift in the competitive landscape raises a fascinating question. Does the absence of the very top players diminish the tournament's prestige? Or does it simply open the door for emerging stars to break through and prove their mettle? Ben Shelton, currently seated 4th, shared his perspective with reporters ahead of the tournament kickoff. For me, any major tournament is exciting, regardless of who shows up. Of course, having more top-tier players is always better, he explained. It's unfortunate to see some withdrawals this year, but there are still plenty of hungry, informed competitors ready to make waves. I believe I'm among them. Shelton emphasizes that despite the headline absences, the challenge remains as tough as ever. He views this tournament as a prime opportunity not only to compete fiercely, but to build confidence ahead of the US Open, a strategy many players rely on to peak at the right moment. Switching gears, another compelling storyline is that of Gabriel Diallo, who is returning to Toronto with a very different profile from 2 years ago. Back then, he made headlines by winning his first ATP main draw match as a wildcard entrant. Now ranked within the top 40 and seated among the players, Diallo acknowledges the increased pressure that comes with higher expectations, but remains focused on delivering his best on home soil. I consider the expectations I set for myself the most important, Diallo noted thoughtfully. Sometimes they're too high, sometimes too low, but that self-awareness helps me adjust my approach. This year, there's more media attention and added demands, so it's about staying ready and competing with maximum effort every time I step on the court. I aim to put on a great show for Canadian fans. Diallo's breakout season recently featured a landmark victory at the Wimbledon Open in Hertogenbosch, where he triumphed over strong competitors like Ugo Humbert and Karen Khachanov to secure his first ATP title. Following that, he reached the quarterfinals in Mallorca and pushed American Taylor Fritz, consistently a top 5 player in recent years, to 5 grueling sets at Wimbledon. Experiences like these, Diallo believes, are invaluable stepping stones toward his growth on the tour. Consistency is key, Diallo explains, for those seeking to elevate their game. Your baseline level has to be high because the competition is so deep now. You can face someone ranked 150 or 160, and if you're not fully present, they'll be motivated to upset you. Recognizing when your focus drifts, quickly regaining control, and managing momentum shifts during a match are the finer details that will help me take the next leap. Behind Diallo's evolution stands former Davis Cup captain Martin Laurando, whose guidance has been crucial both on technical and personal fronts. Laurando has helped Diallo adopt a more aggressive style, encouraging him to take calculated risks by stepping inside the baseline, even if it doesn't always pay off. His influence has been huge, Diallo shared with a smile. On court and off court, helping me navigate life on tour, travel challenges, and time away from family. He's got decades of experience as a player and coach, and honestly, I wouldn't be where I am today without him. Turning to the tournament favorites, many top seeds are eager to harness this event as a launching pad into the season's final stretch. Lorenzo Musetti, seeded third and a semi-finalist at Roland Garros, is especially motivated to bounce back strongly after an injury-marred grass court season. Taylor Fritz, seeded second and last year's U.S. Open finalist who lost to Sinner, has taken time post-Wimbledon to recalibrate and now feels reinvigorated heading into one of the most vital parts of the year. "I might be older than some of the younger guys, but I'm steadily improving," Fritz said confidently. "It's encouraging to feel like I'm closing the gap on players like Sinner and Alcaraz, even as they continue to progress. My focus is to maintain this upward trajectory." This spirit of rivalry extends to other American players too, including Shelton, Frances Tiafoe, and Tommy Paul, all within the top 20. Shelton describes their dynamic as a healthy competition among friends, fueling each other's ambition and growth. He notes that while American women have long dominated the sport, the men's side is making exciting strides, inspiring fans to wonder if the tide is finally turning. One of the most intriguing subplots involves Alexander Zverev, the tournament's top seed, who recently endured a surprising early exit at Wimbledon. After that loss, Zverev unexpectedly connected with Tony Nadal, the legendary coach behind Rafael Nadal's unparalleled success, sparking conversations that have already impacted his approach to the game. "I spent an hour and a half talking with Tony," Zverev recalled. "He's an incredible coach who can also boost your confidence just by speaking. Rafa and Tony shared their insights with me, even talking late into the night over dinners. Rafa offered a unique perspective by analyzing me not only as a player, but also as a spectator of my own matches. It was eye-opening." This mentorship motivated Zverev to accept an invitation to train at Rafael's famous academy in Mallorca for 10 days, an experience he describes as deeply valuable. He's now ready to defend his 2017 title, starting Tuesday evening against rising Australian player Adam Walton. The National Bank Open presented by Rogers, running from July 26 to August 7th. 2025 at Sobeys Stadium promises gripping competition as the ATP Tour's best converge in Toronto. Will the absence of the very top-ranked players open the door for a new champion or reaffirm the dominance of established stars? And what strategies will proven veterans employ to keep ascending in an ever more competitive field? These are exactly the questions that make the tournament must-watch for tennis enthusiasts this summer. What do you think? Does missing the world number 1 and 2 lessen the excitement, or does it create a more unpredictable and thrilling event? Feel free to share your thoughts and join the conversation in the comments below.